Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we share headlines from Puerto Vallarta, from our state, from our country. We share news. Sometimes the news is good news, sometimes the news is bad news, sometimes the news is inconvenient news, but it's the news. What can I tell you? And we also combine that with information that we get from you guys, from people that ask questions and share suggestions and tips so that we can all end up having a better life in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. Today is Wednesday, August 18. My name is Paco. If you are new, please let us know that you are new by writing the word new in your comment, and we'll give you a cheerful welcome because that's what we like to do. Let's see. What do we have today? Well, we have interesting news today. I've set up the new follower goal. Not that we're looking for skyrocketing numbers, but I don't know. Maybe it would be nice to get to 5,000 people. Let's see. What else do we have? We have some news about the tests, the free COVID-19 tests that are now being performed again at the local university. We have more news about cruise ships. We have news about water interruptions, so I'll let you know what colonias you should be taking your showers early today if you haven't. We have a walk. We went walking down to the Amapas site where, the Amapas site. And we're going to learn some tips on Mexican etiquette. And, of course, yesterday you had this wonderful idea of starting ongoing discussions about the different neighborhoods in Puerto Vallarta, the different colonias. What is it like to live in the different colonias from our point of view, from the point of view of us locals? And I will give you a report as to what has happened since somebody came up with that wonderful idea. So we'll have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We might as well get started. Let's see. To begin with, we have been mentioning that the local campus of the Guadalajara University, or CUC, Centro Universitario de la Costa, has reopened their free COVID-19 testing site, which was shut down a couple months ago when demand had decreased. But they are going at it again, given the latest rise in cases. And the first day was this past Monday. How did it go? Well, 33 people showed up for tests, and 17 of them, or 56% of them, had a positive result, reminding us that the COVID-19 positivity rate is still high in the region. The CUC COVID-19 testing facility is presently prepared to do as many as 60 tests per day, and tests are done on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with a prior appointment that you can schedule by telephone, and you can arrive on your own vehicle or you can arrive by walking. Results are delivered in 24 hours via email and WhatsApp. What's up? We are 1 week away from the return of the first cruise ship to Puerto Vallarta since the beginning of the pandemic. And even though we're only expecting one this coming Wednesday from Carnival Cruises, this company, along with the others that have made regular stops in our destination in the past, are continuing to fine tune their sanitary guidelines. A generalized rule among them, at least in the Pacific Riviera route, is that they will all require passengers to be previously vaccinated against COVID 19 in order to travel. The Tourism Secretary of Jalisco has confirmed that in addition to being vaccinated, passengers wishing to disembark in Puerto Vallarta will undergo random COVID-19 testing in order to prevent the virus from spreading further. If you live in Colonia 5 de Diciembre, Joyas del Pedregal, or La Trinidad, you may experience water shortages today due to the scheduled work performed by Seapal, our local waterworks. So take your morning showers while you can. Fill your buckets with water in case you need to go number two. Let's see, another one. Interjet founder and owner Miguel Aleman Magnani is now being searched for in over 190 countries by the Interpol for fiscal defrauding of 65 million pesos. He's been missing since January when, according to some, he went out of the country looking for investors. According to others, he just simply went. The airline's website is now unavailable, and their Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook accounts have not been updated since December of last year. This is very unfortunate, but the good news is that there are other ways to get around, at least through our friendly skies. So hopefully Mr. Aleman Magnani will come back and will straighten out whatever he needs to straighten out. But between then and now, we might as well take a look at the weather. You get a booster shot, and you get a booster shot. Everyone except for your crazy anti-vax uncle gets a booster shot. Apparently, booster shots are now becoming a thing. Not in Mexico just yet, but we don't know exactly what's going to happen in the future. But today, it is 28 degrees out there, Celsius. It feels like 34. Humidity is high at 93%. And our temperature is 82 degrees Fahrenheit. We are presently enjoying a 10% chance of rain. And our weather forecast for this hump day is possible light rain in the evening with a high temperature of 32, low temperature of 25. Tomorrow, Thursday, rain in the evening with high temperature of 31, low temperature of 25. And on Friday, we will have rain in the evening and overnight with a high temperature of 31, low temperature of 24. We are just zooming through this broadcast, and that is a good thing because we have a walk later on today. But before we go there, let me tell you that we are less than a month away from the celebration of Mexican Independence Day, which is September 16, not Cinco de Mayo, if you were wondering. If you will be in Puerto Vallarta or anywhere else in the state of Jalisco, we already know that Governor Alfaro has already canceled all Independence Day celebrations in our state. But things will be different in Mexico City, where the traditional September 16 military parade was canceled last year, but not this year, according to this news item. This year's Independence Day parade is expected to last 2 hours. 2 hours worth of soldiers and military and men and women from our country. Who knew we had that many people in the military in Mexico? And I wonder how many of them are gay, and I wonder how many of them are cute, and I wonder how many of them are looking for a Puerto Vallarta husband that makes his own necklaces. Just kidding. No, seriously though, let us hope that between now and September 16, health conditions in Mexico City can continue to improve so that this parade can actually take place. Personally, I'm not betting on it just yet. Now, let us talk about yesterday, because yesterday somebody came up with an interesting and fabulous idea to have discussions about the different neighborhoods or colonias in Puerto Vallarta so that we can better understand from our point of view, the point of view of locals living there, which colonias are good and not good, what are their pluses and their minuses, so forth and so on. So I figured, my God, what a wonderful idea. How do we go about this? Well, first of all, I looked at the map, and the map has a ton of colonias, many of which I don't even know. So I figured I might as well get started by writing down the colonias that I feel comfortable enough talking about because I've been there or I live there or whatever. And let's see how many we come up with. So I came up with a list of 22 colonias that I feel comfortable talking about at this stage of the game. And then I figured, okay, let's get started with this. If we're going to do this once a week, that's 22 weeks. That's half a year almost of talking about colonias, unless we choose to do them more frequently. We haven't even decided yet. But I figured, how do we figure out which colonia to start with? Well, personally, I did not want to start with some of the most popular ones because if they're so popular, what else can we be saying about them? So yesterday, I put up this survey on our Facebook page, which gave you the opportunity of rating these 22 colonias from how interested you were on getting to know them better, with 3 options per colonia: not at all interested, somewhat interested, and very interested. And then at the bottom of the survey, you have the option of naming other Puerto Vallarta colonias you think we should consider. As an aside, let me tell you this. If you are in business in Puerto Vallarta or elsewhere, and you're trying to get a feel for your audience or your target audience or your client base, nowadays doing surveys in online to gauge what your audience is thinking about or looking for is very, very, very easy. Sometimes maybe I'm old-fashioned looking at surveys, but sometimes I'm amazed at how little I see other businesses in town taking advantage of surveys to poll what's on the mind of their target audiences. But I don't mean to digress. I want to let you know that so far 74 of you have submitted a response, and we're going to leave the survey going on until the end of tomorrow, because by then we will have gathered enough data to determine the order in which we're going to tackle these colonias. So I want to share with you what the results look like, because I think there's some really interesting and some funny facts that have derived from them. And of course, if you're in real estate, you may be curious as to what colonias your potential renters or buyers are interested in. So let's take a little dive into the world of the survey if you're interested in that. And then we will continue on with our walk. And then, of course, as usual, we'll look at our chit chat section at the end. So here we are. We have 74 responses, and what Google gives me back through their survey system is how many people responded interested or not interested or somewhat interested per each colonia. So I put the colonias in alphabetical order, and this is the order in which we're looking at it. For example, if we start at Cinco de Diciembre, along with Versalles, which is all the way down on the V section over there, are the colonias that you're most interested in. Versalles has gotten 50 clicks, whereas Cinco de Diciembre has gotten 48. So undoubtedly, we are going to start with one of these 2 colonias. And then there's other interesting things, such as you're somewhat interested in Alta Vista, fair enough. But then you're very interested in El Centro as well, which is also fair enough. But then we get to Emiliano Zapata. Oh, please, everybody's interested in Emiliano Zapata, but who would want to live there? There are people that want to live there, I'm sure. A lot of people are interested in Fluvial, which I find very interesting because Fluvial is strictly, for the most part, a residential neighborhood. So this says a lot about your mindset as an audience. You're looking for a home. You're looking for or maybe you're wanting to know more about Fluvial. What do I know? But where is Marina Vallarta? This was totally unexpected and almost funny. Marina Vallarta, there are more people not interested than interested in Marina Vallarta, which I think it's well, maybe I find it funny because I personally don't like Marina Vallarta. Nothing against Marina Vallarta, but I worked there for 15 years, so the thought of living there is just not for me. Anyhow, I am very fascinated about what we've received so far. Um, Versalles, as I mentioned before, they have like a bunch of responses. And then we can take a look at some of the other suggestions that you have mentioned. For example, a couple of, we have Palmar de Aramara and Aramara, which I know where they are. I just don't have a lot to say about them because I don't know them very well. So that's part of my own homework. Somebody said Ramblases maybe, Ixtapa maybe. Well, maybe we'll get to them at some point. Somebody was very specific. Palmar de Aramara and Aramara from La Aurora all the way up to Politécnico Street. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Lomas de Coapinoli, somebody said. Oh, and then somebody said, Aramara, I just moved there. LOL. Well, Mr. or Mrs. Aramara, I just moved there. LOL. Let me give you a small suggestion. And actually, this suggestion goes for everyone or anyone that is watching this broadcast and is here. You want to learn more about your colonia? Just put on your walking shoes and go explore it. You know, if you're already living there, we may be able to give you some insight, but ultimately, it is by walking your own neighborhood that you're going to get to know it the best. Oh, and then somebody mentioned Juan Jose Piñeiro, which is not a colonia in Puerto Vallarta. Juan Jose Piñeiro was a famous Argentinian actor. And for the life of me, I don't understand why this was mentioned because there is no such colonia in Puerto Vallarta that I know of. And I Googled and I Googled and I couldn't find it. But that's okay because we have all these other colonias to be considering before we go there. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to inspire ourselves with the results of this survey, which I'm going to leave the link for in the show notes in case you haven't participated. And this way, you will be able to help me figure out what the discussion is going to be like. Now, I also thought about what would the discussion be like, and I thought, well, I'm going to come up with some parameters that I think are important to anyone, like is there shopping, is there public transportation, is there cost of living, specific highlights or landmarks and stuff like that, and quality of life. And I'll be prepared to make a little bit of a presentation, and then I will welcome anybody that has something to say, good or bad, about the specific colonia that we're talking about on that specific day, so that these can be mentioned. Of course, we're not going to get into specific things like, you know, what is your average rental or what is the average price for a condo, because that's not our turf. That's more of the turf of visitors that are looking for, I don't know. That's not what we do. That's what real estate agents are for. But we are just going to talk about the basics of each colonia from the point of view of living them. And that brings us to our walk. And as I mentioned in our announcement, we went walking down to the site of the landslide in Colonia Amapas because we were curious. And I say we, I had a co-pilot, which you already know, but you will see in a second. I have a couple of explanations to make as we before we begin the walk. Number one, my co-pilot, which is my dear friend Logan, sometimes interjects and adds commentary, but unfortunately with my camera, my 360-degree camera, which is what I filmed the video for, the microphone is located in front of me as I'm holding it. So sometimes you cannot hear Logan very well. So I tried to fill around his commentary as much as I could as I'm clutching my pearls. Secondly, you will learn a little bit of Mexican etiquette because we know what to say when somebody sneezes. We know what to say when somebody is offering a toast. But what do you say when somebody belches? We figured that out today. And last but not least, in the course of walking together, we mentioned the names of specific homeowners that are friends of ours as we were walking past their homes. But then we figured it's nobody's business to know where people's homes are. So if you hear some honking during the video, it is because we want to protect people's privacy, as I think we should. So let's go for it. Hello everyone, we are at the corner of Pulpito and Amapas. The beach is 1 block that way, so are a couple of very popular restaurants. And today, Logan and I, hi Logan,
Hola.
Are walking down to the site of El Socavón Bombón.
We shouldn't laugh.
No, we shouldn't laugh. It's no laughing matter. But we are curious as to what things look like where that horrible thing happened on Amapas. And for me personally, it's been ages since I walked down here. Oh my gosh, what's being built here? My goodness.
This was Fusion Gourmet. Place.
This was Fusion Gourmet. Let me take a photo. Hold on just a second. Oh, wow. I heard through the grapevine that they're going to turn it into a gay bathhouse. I'm serious.
Okay.
Somebody told me that.
Just in time for the
Just in time.
second wave. Or the...
Absolutely.
Yeah, just in time.
But I have no idea what they're going to do with it. It's a beautiful Sunday, especially after last night's rain.
If I find myself clearing my throat a lot, it's because Logan makes me laugh.
Buenas tardes. Do you know my Buenas tardes game, Logan?
No. Tell me your buenas tardes.
Well, in my fucked up mind, if you're gonna visit a foreign country and you don't speak the language, you should at least learn the basics like good morning, good afternoon, good night, thank you, you know. So I love saying good afternoon and good morning in Spanish when I'm walking down the street. And I'm always amused at what people mumble back when I say good afternoon and they don't speak the language or the basics. And I know it's probably horrible, but it's funny, you know, when you go good afternoon and somebody goes, I'm like, okay.
Cute parasol warning.
Hola.
Hola.
Qué padre sombrilla.
I want one of those.
Huh?
They get your joke.
Yes. I'm wearing my cuarentona t-shirt today.
I appreciate that.
And the same necklace.
Buenas tardes. See, that was good. He said hola.
Oh, Karen, you have no idea. Thank you for that. And Logan, it's heel with you.
Okay. Brisas del mar.
Just get an idea walking here.
Uh-huh.
The hillside has already just been stressed. And how that's found ways to squeeze the new with older construction.
Torre Malibu has a new fancy door. I love
Yes,
the
very
tile,
much
not tile, what do you call these things? The brickwork in this building across the street. Wasn't this Casa Corazon?
Casa Corazon, yes.
Well, now it's more like Casota Corazon.
Casota being a big casa.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Bien.
Lots of traffic cops helping people understand what's going on in the neighborhood, just in case people are not informed. That was
The
really
Azul, which is much newer. The Olivia, which has been here decades. You can just see how really just stacked as much real estate
Yeah.
as they can on top of each other.
Every inch of free land is being used for construction. Or has been used for construction, yes. Let me see if I can take a photo of that. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Oh my God, yes. It is quite monstrous. This would be the access to the beach. This is the one that ends up right next to the blue chairs. Hi.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll get to your comment in a second. But that was a good comment.
How is it that you know all the taxi drivers? I don't want to know.
Actually, Logan is a concierge. That's why he knows the taxi driver.
Now, this building right here, I've always liked because it is clearly something that was built many, many years ago. And it's just beautiful.
And round.
And you can see all the natural runoff that happens this time of year through these hills.
Yeah.
You can hear the water stream coming down.
Buenas
from the mountain.
tardes. That's like the third traffic cop.
Well, they must be here to let people who aren't in the know they may need to turn around,
Yeah.
depending on what their destination is.
Well, we are two properties away from the Socavon. Here's the front entrance to Alma.
Those bicycles are motorized, by the way.
Easy way to get around. No más calle. A eso vinimos.
Oh, wow. So, oh my goodness. So this is about as far as we can get. They've really taken their precautions.
So, his house.
House. I wonder if they had to evacuate her.
Oh.
But you know, it makes sense to me that they're not letting people any closer than this. Now, this house is for sale. I don't know who would want to buy this thing after what happened. And then that is his house, correct? Oh, I said that out loud. Maybe I should delete that.
Yeah.
I should delete the audio once we get to that. And you can see, okay, let me take a zoom photo here. You can see that structure on the back.
On the
That
top.
is that pool. That is that infinity pool, which I heard through the grapevine they have had drained
Drained it.
just for precaution.
The foundation is hanging out in outer space.
That is chilling.
Yeah. Salud.
Salud.
Well put.
Well, we made it this far.
Well, I wonder. I mean, we just started. So if you got the pilas, let's go up and around along the highway, which now has a nice shoulder, and it's walkable.
Sure.
And maybe walk down to the entrance to Cayenne and come back north.
Okay, let's do a super jump.
Yeah.
And this is how we do it.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna count to 3 and we're gonna go like whoosh.
Okay.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Whoosh. Okay. So we've landed. I'll show you on the map where we walked and where we landed. And we are yet again. Buenas tardes, jefe. Vinimos de curiosos, pero ya nos vamos a ir. Once again, we are. Is this Casa 3?
This is Villa Verano.
No, this is not Villa Verano.
Villa Verano.
This is, oh my God, you're right. This is Villa Verano. So we are on this side of Villa Verano, and the street is also locked. So, what a mess. Not much to see here.
Part of why I wanted to come for the 3 years, my offices were right past that brush wall.
Yeah.
So I would drive.
And I'm sure that the
Every day.
owners of these properties are just squirming because they want to keep them busy. They want to, be able to rent them. Okay, what should we do?
Let's go have lunch and maybe a margarita.
Sounds good. Where are we having lunch?
I'm not sure. Let's maybe try whiskey.
Where is that?
It's up on the highway. It's where the Jack's Lounge used to be.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do it.
And now you know why it is that Logan and I found ourselves having lunch at Whiskey Lounge this past Sunday. And I was editing this video yesterday. I was thinking about that. Oh my God, that mac and cheese that I enjoyed there, and the wonderful picture of sangria makes me want to go back. So that was our walk. Just as a reference, Villa Verano is a property that is adjacent to the Landslide, and we are very good friends with the members of the staff and the owners. That it was one of those legendary properties in Puerto Vallarta. It's been around for a long time, and it is unfortunate to see how a landslide came to affect people that are working, people that are trying to get by through those streets. I mean, it is all just very unfortunate. And I figured some of you would have been curious to see it. We were curious to see it. If we were giggling, we mean absolutely no disrespect to the difficult times that some people must be going through in light of this situation. And of course, for better or worse, this situation is going to prevail or leave a mark in our city for some time, I think, definitely in the real estate community. Now let me rewind our comment tape just to see who's in the house and what kind of mischief you're all up to. As always, great to read your good mornings, and very, very appreciative of them. Apparently, it's hot in Nuevo Vallarta. It is quite warm over here. Javier is watching from Marina Vallarta. This is wonderful. Thank you for the comments on the necklace. We're getting hooked on your sassy necklaces, says Raymond. Good morning, Raymond. Well, it's like it's so soothing for me to sit down in the afternoons and just hook, and I just love it. I just love it. Let's see what else we have. Oh, Scott, you were asking about this. I am so happy you were able to get your mask. Please don't feel invincible, because we're not. Please take good care of of yourself. I felt invincible as well. It's a good feeling, but we definitely need to be mindful of the fact that we still have to be prudent in our choices. Um, and I think being prudent in our choices makes us is what makes us invincible. But congratulations, and congratulations to, of course, to Logan, my baby friend, because Logan also went on yesterday to get his shot, and of course, as long as we're at it, we know that Puerto Vallarta is doing shots for folks in their 40s, second shots this week all the way until Friday, and folks that are older than in their 40s that got their first shot, along with folks in their 40s, can get their second shot on Friday. There you go. Now, what? What? Dave, you are in Dubai? Take some good photographs and share them with us, please. Let's see who else is in the house. Let's see. Let's see. Somebody's been gone. How long were you gone? Sharks, crocodiles, llamas, floating cars, and flying tourists. It's been crazy here. Terry, you nailed it. And then Glee asks, llamas? Yes, llamas. We had llamas from outer space yesterday. Uh, uh, yes, yes, Glee Audrey. You want to watch the start of yesterday's broadcast to get into the llama mindset. Let's see what else we have. Scott says, me, PB husband available. Oh. Mm. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know, Scott. Maybe you talk to your agent, and I'll talk to my agent, and we'll have them talk to one another, and we'll see what happens. Just kidding. Or maybe not. I don't know. I'm not looking for a boyfriend. I mean, who would want to date me? Jesus. Anyhow, let's see. Oh, Meggie, as in Peggy. Hello, Meggie. I hope you're enjoying Coffee and Headlines. I'm never going to forget that you are Meggie, as in Peggy, because that's how you described it. When discussing neighborhoods, it would be great if people familiar with specific buildings developments could also chime in. I'd find that very helpful when trying to find a place to live. You will be surprised, Meggie, as in Peggy, that in the vast majority of the colonias, there is no such thing as specific buildings or developments. I mean, new buildings are being built in some of the more popular colonias, but not everywhere. And certainly, the vast majority of buildings that are being built out there don't have fabulous names like Avalon and the Terrace and whatever and things like that. But I think the discussion will be really interesting. There's a side of me that thinks, well, it'll be interesting to talk about things that have to do with colonias. And then there's a side of me that goes, well, wait a second. We are locals. And as being locals, we're supposed to know these things. But then there's a side of me that says, well, I mean, but not every local has the oomph to go out and exploring. So I suppose, given the interest that you've shown on this new adventure, it'll be good for many people. So that's the bottom line. We want to be helpful in creating connections here. Who needs pearls when you can clutch your crochet? My thought exactly. Ooh. Yes. Let's see what else we have. Oh, that's an interesting thought. Maybe consider doing the colonias in reverse order of popularity. Interesting. I don't know. I'll ask Luna and see what she thinks about that. Angelica says maybe that's just one street. I was referring to the name of that Argentinian actor, Juan J. Piñeiro. Well, we're not doing streets, at least not this time around. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, I don't know how we ended up talking about crotches, but see, this is what happens when I read your comments and I read them out of order. Let's see what else we have. Thank you very much for that. You are my constant reminder that it is helpful to some, and you and Terry actually, that talking about handicap accessibility is important. Thank you so much for giving me that ongoing reminder. It helps me a lot to stay inclusive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then we start seeing specific comments about the different spots that we see during the walk. A comment about Fusion Gourmet, which was a fun restaurant. It was Dwayne's Oasis before it was Fusion Gourmet, and I remember Dwayne's Oasis because he used to have stripper shows in the afternoons. I used to love going to matinee stripper shows because I never used to enjoy myself very, very late at night being out. It's never been my thing, or it hasn't been my thing for many years. So I used to enjoy the stripper matinees. It was fun. Um, Karen, it is so good to have friends that make you laugh, and I wish for you and everybody that is watching that you have at least one or two or half a dozen. Um, where Fusion was, the first floor will be a restaurant bar, and second floor is supposed to be a bathhouse. Yes, I was told the same by the workers since I live nearby. Okay, fair enough. I just hope they get their permits in order and all that good stuff. Let's see. Dan says we've never explored this area. Too difficult with a wheelchair. I completely agree. So I'm happy that I was able to show you an area of town that is actually quite beautiful. It is fun to go walking around those streets. Arturo, I say hello again. We haven't seen you in a while. I've gone to your restaurant or your brother's restaurant a couple of times, and I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since we've seen you live. I remember you said that new work commitments prevented you from watching live, but it's great to see you. Um, this came up during the broadcast. It is a nice pun. Yeah, part of Amapas is now off the Mapas. It's not funny, but it is funny. I mean, what can you say? Julie asks, how do you spell socavon bon bon? I should explain the story behind that. Well, first of all, the word socavon, Socav, as in Victor O-N, is the word that we use for sinkhole. And when we had that sinkhole in the state of Puebla last month or the month before, if you've been following Coffee and Headlines for a while, you know that there was this huge sinkhole that came out of nowhere, and some smart musician came up with a cumbia, or Latin rhythm song that was called the socavon bon bon, socavon bon bon, socavon bon bon. So again, we don't mean to be humorous about what happened in Amapas, but that is the story of why we're calling it the socavon bon bon. Scott gives us feedback of the experience watching the landslide from the beach. The 70% sold sign is gone now. Go figure. Again, I would not want to be in the place of that developer because having to answer, it's gonna be complicated, I'm sure. Let's see. Uphill, puta madre. Lovely, but it's a freaking pain walking up. I'm an out of shape dude. Well, Arturo, it takes one to know one. Look at all the COVID that I have here now. If you look at the first Coffee and Headlines, I was slimmer. So now I do have to go out and walk because that's pretty much the only exercise that I'm getting. And because I love to eat my tacos, one has to be careful. Well, of course, superpowers, Jeannie. Everybody has to have them, and I like to use my superpowers whenever I can. We love doing our super jumps. Let's see what else we have. Yes, Logan is feeling the superpowers engaged. I love it. Logan is a great guy. He is definitely one of my dearest friends, and I know that you're watching and you're blushing like a girl, but my friends are my family of choice. I have good relationship with my family, my blood relatives, but when I came to live here, I didn't know a soul, and my family was not living in Puerto Vallarta 20 years ago, and I don't have many relatives here in town or close relatives. So for me, looking after and nurturing my family of choice, my friends, is essential, and Logan manages to make me laugh every single time we get together, and that means a lot to me. Let's see what else we have. I hear you, Cindy. I rarely go to the southern part of town anymore because I have very little business to do there. Um, well, with Whiskey Kitchen, I think I'm going to have to modify my schedule because I'm still pining and feeling good about my meal from Sunday. But yeah, I mean, one gets when we're locals, and I'm sure you will agree with me. You get into the groove of your daily life, and your daily life revolves around the neighborhood where you live in. So I'm glad that these explorations stretch me in directions that I don't usually go to. So I'm really happy for that. Let's see what else we have. Oh, Michael. Oh, my, I had no idea you were that young. Jesus, you got your second shot this morning. Celebrating with tacos de canasta. You know, we have not done tacos de canasta on Taco Tuesday, and I've been meaning to because because they're yummy. So thank you for. Let me know where you went looking for tacos de canasta. Maybe that would be a good place for me to go and photograph for Taco Tuesday. Let's see. Hooking has another meaning in my world. Well, what do you do for a living, Lynn? Let us know. Let's see what else we have. Um, oh, Margaret. Well, there we were, protecting your privacy by not saying out your name out loud when we walked past your house. We didn't want necessarily people to know where you live, but I am so glad that you're here. I am so glad that you're here. Margaret is a dear friend of many years, and how is it going, Margaret? I mean, your house is beyond the perimeter of the zone. If you can let us know how things are going, please let us know. I have nothing but good vibes for you and your neighbors and everybody that is struggling with this situation. I I hope things become fixed at some point. I don't even know what to say, but but there you are, and here we are. It's great to see you, Margaret. It really is. Let's see what else we have. Ba-dee-ba-ba. Thank you very much, Julie. You know, I've often thought about, what happens if I get a wireless set of microphones and I perched one in my chest and then I put one in a buddy and start doing interview walks or walk interviews or stuff like that. It's something that I've been thinking about because a lot of times it's nice to have a co-pilot and and have a back and forth conversation going on. With the equipment that I have, I just don't have the gadgets to have two microphones going at the same time. But I'm definitely thinking about that. Thank you very much for your remark. Let's see what else we have. We're almost to the end. Um, let's see. Let's see what else we have. Da 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 da. Oh, who's new? Who are we welcoming? My first time watching you live broadcast. Love it. Kimberly, welcome. Welcome. We have a newbie. Grab your beverage of choice, girl. Sit around and join the community. Ask questions and chime in. And look at all those great welcomes. Thank you very much, community. You guys are awesome. Um, Michael says, yes, there were a lot of empty seats today. I just wish they would open it up for everyone. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Um, I wonder if owners of Whiskey Kitchen are former owners of Jack's. I happened to meet one of the owners when Logan and I were there, and they also own a local bar. I don't know exactly how much everybody owns what because it's none of my business. But for a bar to also own a restaurant right now, I think it's a very smart idea because bars are going through all these restrictions. Logan may have some comments about who owns what because Logan knows everything because he's a concierge. Let's see what else we have. I'm in my 60s and missed the first dose of frantically looking for one. If you're here, Marie, they have made no announcements. Maybe, just maybe, if there are additional vaccines available on Friday when they're opening to a broader group of people. They will allow older people to go as well, or first timers. But again, these are decisions made by the Mexican government, and they're usually made at the very last minute. So my invitation to you, Marie, is keep watching the news. Keep tuning into Coffee and Headlines. We're always trying to give vaccination news as soon as we receive them because we know how important this is. Let's see what else we have. Oh, Scott just showed up. I don't have a CURP, but with my my second, they gave me a temporary CURP, so I was given a temp, so I could find the vaccination card online. Truly blessed. I am glad to hear that again, Scott, because I know that you were worried about this a few days ago. Um, Friends are my family of choice. I'll drink to that. I'll say, oh my God, now you know that when somebody belches next to you, the thing to say is salud. Logan and I were giggling because I love belching, and I have no qualms about doing it. It feels good, But we were sitting there trying to be very, very concerned about what was going on, and all of a sudden, one of the construction workers behind us went like, "Brap." It was funny. At least it was funny at the time. Let's see. Margaret says canceled rental until October when the house is rented all month. I watch you every day. I just haven't much to say during these times. Well, I'm so glad that you're watching, Margaret, because we go back, and I am so glad that you're here, and you are one of several people that rent properties in that neighborhood. I hope again that things will continue to prosper for you guys. I sincerely do. Boom, bada bing, bum, bum. We're almost to the end of your comments. Thank you, Troy. Those are the missing pieces that I was looking for. The owner of Jack's Lounge also owns Anonymous and is part owner of the new 161 bar next to Anonymous. Yes, I had met the owner before, but I'm terrible with names. And he is a super nice guy. Super nice guy. Let's see what else. Eructaciones. Yes, that's how we call the burps in Spanish. Eruptos or eructaciones. Uh, and Raymond, of course, leave it to Raymond to come up with a great response. Thank you for bringing that up. Oh, Raymond, what would we do without you? And that thought gives, oh my God, it's already 11:23. And there's still 108 of you here. How awesome is that? Thank you so much for joining us for another Coffee and Headlines. Today is Wednesday, Hump Day. We will continue with our story tomorrow, as always, between now and then. Stay happy, stay belchy, let some air out while nobody's watching, or while people are watching. Who cares? We're all going to die one day or another, so we might as well enjoy bringing something up from time to time. But seriously, though, if you are in age of getting vaccinated, go get vaccinated. If you are living here, take care of yourselves. If you're living anywhere, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and stay in touch. I will see you soon.